Alright, in this review we're checking out what I think is a pretty underrated vintage keyboard. It's one of those NEC ones with the blue oval switches. Yes, this is an NEC H410E. The H412 is like pretty much exactly the same, except that one's PS2. This one has the DIN plug on it. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this, even though it's not as, I guess, sought after or well known, I guess. And even then, they're not too uncommon, and you can sometimes find these for reasonable prices, like this one. Although, I got this one and my Omni key from Meg Market for $100 for both. So basically $50 for the Omni key and $50 for this. I mean, for both of those, for $100, I think it was an excellent deal. But yes, this is the keyboard people go to when they want to try the NEC blue oval switches. It's got a really nice key feel to it. Very smooth and like clicky, and even like a soft clicky sound as well. They do pring. They do have a pretty good spring ping to them, but it's not like an annoying in any way. It's kind of a delightful, I guess. Although not as pingy as Green Alps or capacitive buckling springs. So, I mean, for someone who doesn't like spring ping as much, this really isn't too bad. I can live with this. I'm going to take a moment to show you, but look at the impressive shine on these caps. Yet they still look and feel pretty good because they're really nice caps. I'm going to see if I can try and show this on camera, but when you pull these caps, don't pull straight up because the tops of these switches are like, they have fragile rivets and you can break them. So what you want to do is like, maybe I should do it on a different key, but like kind of pull it to the side. You can use your finger to like help it lean to the side a little bit, but go slowly as well. And they should come right off. Now first get a look at one of these caps. Basically as thick as Alps Electric type ones, but the molding marks and mounts are different. But as shiny as these are, they're really nice caps. And then you can see here's a look at the switches. Yeah, and if you pull the caps like how I showed, you can get these off. Although, this board, you know, it was a little dirty when I got it, but after everything cleaned up, it really came out great because there's no yellowing on here at all, and the switches are really smooth. They do feel like they're factory lubed. Yeah, they're pretty similar to SMKs, but yeah, a little bit stiffer and a little bit less tactile, really. But the main thing I've heard that puts these off for people is the actuation before the click. And yes, while that is true, it's really not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not like super touchy. You just, I mean, because they're stiff, you can like rest your fingers on the keys and they won't actuate. But if you like do this, you can set them off pretty easily. But what I found out, I think this is the best board, the best vintage board that I've used to play games on so far. And it also has NEC rollover too, which is another nice thing about this. I mean, but yeah, with the earlier actuation, it makes these feel quite responsive, like even in games. And with that being paired with NEC rollover, for someone who plays, if you're into games, this is actually really not a bad option. And I think this board has a pretty good look to it, and the 9-unit spacebar is pretty fun. And the cable on this is just incredible, though. It's super thick, and it just feels like an absolute unit, because it really is. Alright, so here we are taking a look at the back. Pretty basic little flip out feet. Although I think the normal angle on this board is actually pretty good. Pretty nice cable gutter for the pretty thick cable. It's got 6 screws, so pretty easy to open. And on this one, it has a really nice metal badge in the back here. And take a look at that nice low serial on this one. It's, yeah, APC-H410E. Yeah, it's a really nice there. As far as final little interesting quirks about this board, it's got a little raised lock light bank, which doesn't look too bad. And if you can see down here, I don't know if the phone will pick it up, but the caps lock key on this is stabilized, which is pretty interesting. Not sure why they needed to do that, but oh well. But the 9-unit spacebar is pretty fun. It does have a slightly stiffer switch for this. But overall, it's a pretty good board. I mean, really solid build quality, really nice keycaps, really nice switches. Although they're not for everyone, because I know a lot of people like Alps and Space Invaders and such. These aren't as popular, I'd say, but they're still really good. Especially for gaming, because they're very responsive for that, and NEC rollover too. So can't complain about that. But yeah, this is one of these more overlooked boards, I think. Sometimes you can find them for reasonable prices. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and that'll be it for this one.